Hello, and welcome to my Palace of Thoughts. Today I want to examine a specific thought that recently resurfaced in my mind. I want to further explore connected thoughts and themes while hopefully learning something new through self-examination. I hope you will join me for this journey and enjoy these lines of thought. Thank you. These thoughts recently surfaced in response to a video I watched here on YouTube. In the video, a person was explaining their frustration with ungrateful family members. Somehow, watching that video reminded me of times in my life when I wish I had the resources to buy what I wanted but didn't have. The things I wanted to buy weren't always items. I wanted to buy things like approval from other people, a sense of value that couldn't be undermined, as well as some other things. While thinking back to those wants, I started to question if having those things by buying them was a good way to do things. Things could be good if I could afford them, but what would happen if I found myself no longer being able to afford them? In that case, I'll probably end up being in a worse position than when I started. Not only would I have a deep knowledge of what was missing, but I also had to find ways not to wallow in my newfound state of lack. Additionally, because I didn't earn these things in a natural sense or by means of my character, I would be pained by the knowledge or the assumption that I was undeserving of them. Perhaps the younger version of myself didn't think about literally buying things like respect, value, etc., but he did seem to want certain items or to appear in a certain way because of what would come along with that. While I think the things that I wanted weren't necessarily bad, at the time I didn't understand the importance of the process it takes to get them. Had I used currency to somehow buy those things, I definitely would not have treasured them properly. In some sense, those benefits or boons would have been wasted on an ungrateful heart. But if instead I chose to work on myself and build a life I enjoyed step by step, brick by brick, I would have been worthy of those things in the end. For me, that line of thought begs the question of why. Why was I in a hurry to expedite my journey and take shortcuts? I mean, it feels good to one-shot bosses with the levels gained from mods, but the whole game starts to lose value when you play it dishonestly. At least that's how I felt after using mods in my first Skyrim game. At that time, I didn't expect that feeling to translate over into my life. The interesting thing about my ordeal at the time was the fact that I already had some of what I wanted. The problem was I was playing a game of comparison that wasn't healthy for my self-esteem. I saw how some people were treated, and I used that to measure out how I wanted to be treated. The funny thing about it is that now, I wouldn't want to be in the places of those who I compared myself to. I couldn't see that at the time because I was too far gone in a daydream. Initially, I thought that my lack or my inadequacies were flaws that needed to be covered up and hidden. Now I realize that those things were truly a blessing in disguise because they allow me to have new goals as I advance as a person. I see them as opportunities. Some of them are really annoying looking opportunities, but they could possibly lead to great moments and big things. While I'm not the biggest self-improvement person there is, I do love a good adventure. The best part of adventures to me are the character arcs the protagonists get to experience, and the levels of maturity and growth that is obtained by the end of the story. I don't think that I'm some great, incredible character, but that doesn't mean I have to settle for an average adventure because I didn't believe that there could be something more out there for me. I debated about making this video for maybe 10 minutes before I was certain that it was worth doing. I believe it's worth it because I've seen the things people chase after on the internet. Some of those things people chase seem amazing. Some of the life stories out there are truly inspiring. While it's not the majority of the stories I come across through the different spaces I inhabit on the web, I do think they are some of the best ones. A part of me thought that a video that was stemming from a feeling of lack couldn't result in anything good. And I have to say that I'm glad that that isn't true. I think many people consider buying their ways into things that may or may not make them feel fulfilled. While I can't say for certain if that's the right or wrong approach to make, I take this stance. The destination is not the most important part of a journey. The most important part of the journey is the countless moments you invest into it. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this examination of thoughts. This has been a wonderful trip into my palace of thoughts, and I look forward to sharing more ideas, concepts, and thoughts with you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.